Hi guys, today let's talk a bit about camera lenses. Okay, where to start? The lens caps are always very useful. You get one at the front and one at the back of the lens when they're not attached to the camera. And basically the one at the front usually attaches to the filter thread, although some will screw on to different parts of the camera. And one at the back which will usually sort of attach at the plate there. And that's usually a screw-on one that I've found. Now, these are very, very valuable. There are some people that have got cameras who won't use these, alright, but always make sure you're using them because it will stop, when you put your lens in the bag, it will stop it getting scratched. It will keep your lens in a better condition than it will be in if you don't wear the lens caps. It will also help keep random coffees and sweet wrappers out of the camera lens. So yeah, whatever you do, wear your lens caps whenever this isn't on and your camera isn't working, because they are absolutely invaluable in maintaining the quality of your lens, because you'll have paid a lot of money for one of them. Anyway, this one usually attaches into the filter thread, as I may have mentioned, and basically the filter thread is where you attach all your little filters like this. This is a UV filter, and I would recommend these for anyone who wants to take good care of their lens or anyone who's doing child or animal photography. UV filters are really good. They can reduce the haze in the atmosphere, but they also keep your lens protected from random finger attacks, being licked, all that sort of stuff. So absolutely invaluable UV filter on your filter thread. Another advantage of filters is they usually have their own little filter ring for the same diameter that the lens has, so you can still attach your lens cap after you've got your filter on. Now, some lenses come with a lens hood mount, which is basically allows you to attach like a lens hood. Most of these will automatically come with your lens, but some of them you'll have to end up paying for at the end of the day. Sorry about that, that's very clumsy of me. But the lens hood will basically keep sunlight out, help protect the lens. It's really, really nice. It will lower the lens flares that you've got, and I hate to say this, but some people seem to think that having one of these lens hoods on makes the camera look longer and more professional. But you know, if you're going to an interview, maybe make sure you have these hoods on, because you know, it'll make the camera look longer and more professional. Right. Next, where should we go? We've got a focus ring, which is usually at the front of the camera, although I have actually come and seen a focus ring behind a zoom ring. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've seen this. Now, the focus ring will basically allow you to focus on your subjects. That may sound simple, but manual focus I've always found is slightly better than autofocus, except when working with fast-moving sports events, that sort of thing. But you know, you've got your manual focus that's usually at the front, and that basically controls where the focus of the lens is. Very simple. Before that, we've got the zoom focus. Not the zoom focus, we've got the zoom ring, sorry. I'm a little bit tired at the moment. The zoom ring will basically allow your camera lens to zoom in and out, although manual primes will not have a zoom ring. I'll show you a manual prime in a second. Now, you've also got, sorry about this, you've also got your lens specification information, like this one's a 45 to 175mm lens. Sorry, I was pushing that really into the depth of field, which didn't go to help my case of knowledge at all. So this one will do 45 to 175 on a full frame camera. This is actually film micro four thirds, so it actually does 90 to 350. But you know, 45 to 175 is what it reads on there. Now, you can occasionally have a thing called a distance indicator on certain lenses, but that's not always shown, and sometimes your distance indicator is on the manual focus ring of the camera. So this one's a manual prime with the manual focus ring here, and it's got the distance indicator on the actual manual focus ring, so we don't need to see it as a separate dial, which is kind of handy. I kind of like this one as well. Then we've got the aperture ring. I'll show you that now. Basically, your aperture ring here is your aperture ring here. It controls the lens aperture, and basically, if I reduce the lens aperture, if I reduce the lens aperture, sorry, my camera was escaping there. If I reduce that, that will basically allow me a wider depth of field that I can use rather than having a narrow depth of field. So basically, the more close the lens is, the more you can play with in terms of the sharpness of the image. And basically, for example, the lens I'm using at the moment, the reason in the foreground is so blurred and the background's a little bit blurred is because I'm using it at a very wide aperture. That will also reduce noise, so it's very useful. So it's always good to have a manual aperture control on your lens, although some aperture controls like this one can be adjusted kind of just by controlling an aperture wheel on a camera. So yeah, that's the aperture ring for you. Now finally, we've got the lens mount, which is the bit of the lens which plugs into the camera. I'll just put this one to one side for a second. The lens mount will plug in like so to the camera when you match up the red dots basically at the side of the camera, and then we just twist it and it's locked into place and you're ready to go with your camera. And hopefully this has taught you a little bit more about camera lenses. It's not really that complicated, but it's always handy to know about these things. I would always recommend getting UV filters for your cameras, and also you can go to any local camera shop for advice. There's hundreds of people on the internet with a lot of information about camera lenses, that sort of thing. Anyway, I hope this has been really helpful to you. Anyway, take care, bye, have a groovy day, and go out and shoot something cool. Bye.